Yeah, this is Ben, and I've got Francy Luzoho with me. How you doing, mate? How's training
I'm
going?
well. It's well. I'm just finished training there now, so I just came down because I remember only remembered now that I had an interview to do, so I had to kind of run back down and get ready. You know what I mean? So,
Good stuff.
yeah,
Just tell us about your fight coming up on the 22nd of July. What do you
yeah.
know
Twenty
about you?
second. Yeah, 22nd of July. Havoc at the hangar, Wolverhampton. Do you know what I mean? So it would be like my fifth fight out. So I'm looking forward to get back out there and staying busy and staying active. Like I said, this year I wanted to stay active and busy, and climb up the rankings, and then potentially fight a tough fight at the end of the year or next year, or start going for title contention as well.
Good stuff. And what type of titles will you be chasing in the near future?
Well, first of all, the first thing for me would be to get all the Irish titles. That's one of my achievements I want to get. So get the BUI and the Irish title itself, and once I've secured them too, uh, you know, I think you get rankings out with them. I'm not sure, but collecting them and adding them to the cabinet is one of my ambitions as well. So from there, then progress and level up and go up again.
Yeah. And just talk about your training a little bit, because obviously you've moved, the last couple of years you moved to Birmingham for your training camps now. How's that going?
Yeah, I just moved out with Boxmart Elite up in Rush Hall. So it's yet again it's out of my comfort zone. Originally, I was out in Lanzarote training out there for a couple of years, getting in shape, getting ready during the COVID pandemic. A lot of fights fell through. I did get back-to-back fights in Luxembourg and Germany. Thanks be to God. So I kind of knew it was time to kind of step out of my comfort zone again, and kind of change my scenery and progress and get better again. And then went out to Birmingham, looked around, seeing what type of trainers were out there, and then found my trainer Shiny.
And how have you found it with him? How are you gelling with him? Are you linking up well with him?
It's going perfect, just like we both planned. It's one of those, like, building a new relationship, building a new foundation with a different trainer takes a bit of time, takes a couple of months, takes pad sessions, sparring sessions, training sessions, and everything. So we're building that bond, that trainer coach kind of bond, and we're getting there. Do you know what I mean? So it's like learning a new style as well, adding it on top of mine. Hence the name Box Smart Elite. So you kind of he's more of a tactician in the ring. He likes, picking opponents apart, breaking them down, using your IQ instead of using your bronze. Do you know what I mean? So it's good because that adds to my game. That's something I felt I was missing as well. A bit of boxing IQ to kind of, polish off the feet, the hand movement, the head movement, everything else, and just put them together.
Yeah, great stuff. And obviously you got one loss on your record. Is that something
Yeah.
to you looking to revenge in the future?
Listen, it's one of those where I'm too big for it now, because it's we offered it to him multiple times. He gave me his word. He backed out. Do you know what I mean? So that showed me he wasn't a man of his word. You know, I still feel like that loss isn't a loss. It was more of a robbery because the referee was on his side, basically. It's all
Yeah,
well and good when you have a top trainer like Phil Sutcliffe in your corner that everyone knows and respects. So that's a little bit of a 2 point ahead if you have him in your corner. But look, like I said, in a way I'm kind of glad that happened. Kind of set me on a journey to kind of improve and better myself and put me in a better position than anyways, because I think in his last fight he lost against a journeyman. So that just
yeah.
shows anyways. But look, on to bigger and better things for me anyways. I mean, the sky's the limit for me.
Well, you just got to look at like pros like Johnny Nelson, Bernard Hopkins. They lost, I think they lost their first fight or the first one of the first fights, and they've just gone on to do great things. So if you look
Yeah,
at
exactly.
them,
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, for me, it wasn't even a loss. You know what I mean? Even though on record it's a loss, but I know I won it. He knows I
yeah,
won it. That's why he doesn't want to give me the rematch. But like I said, all the greats at a certain point in their career lost a fight, but they still went on to do great things. For me, I feel like the O is overrated, anyways. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It's good to have, but it doesn't define you as a fighter. What defines you as a fighter is how good you can come back, and how much you can shine from it, and how much you can grow from it.
yeah, definitely. And do you think you've improved a lot since that loss?
Massively, massively, in so many areas. You know what I mean? I've plugged a lot of holes where I felt like in that fight, when I went into my second fight into a 50-50, first time six rounder. You know, green in that certain aspect, but I felt like in every department I've fixed and improved on and gotten better on. You know, I've matured more as a fighter. You know, defense wise, movement wise, you know, there's still room for improvement. But as long as I recognize, I know that that I'm grown as a fighter and I'm a lot better than what I was the previous time around. Anyway, so I'm
And just
happy. I'm
going back
happy
to
with
the
the
beginning,
decision.
what was that? Sorry.
No, go on, go on.
Yeah, just going back to the beginning again. How was it that you got into boxing, and what inspired you to be a boxer in the first place?
Well, I started off playing football at first, but you know yourself, football, you're plagued with injuries. So, there was an incident where I ended up tearing my quad on my right leg that kind of put me out for 6 months. And so you had the rehabilitation and everything to the process of getting back into shape and all. And in the meantime, I was out of action. I was on crutches, so I couldn't really walk. So I was, on the computer looking up Ronaldinho and all the top players to see how I can improve myself once I get back playing football. And I stumbled on Roy Jones Jr. when he kind of did what I call, anyways, the chicken dance, when he had the two hands behind his back and
Yeah,
came back with a left hook, stopped your opponent. And from there, I just fell in love with boxing because the tassels, the entrances, the bravado, everything. And I was just like, wow, how come I never knew about this sport? And it's just from there I dove in deeper, fell into Robert Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, and all the greats, Bernard Hopkins, and I just kept going and going. And I think I stayed on the laptop at least 5 hours watching fights non-stop on the trot. And I was like, no, once I get back, I'm gonna still try and play football, see how I feel, but let me do a bit of boxing to get into shape. And then once I stepped in the boxing gym, the rest was history. Stuck with it, and then just packed in football. And I was like, nah, I love this sport. Let me go with boxing and see where it takes me. And here I am today.
yeah, that's the thing with boxing as well. There's so many different styles, and obviously you can bring them into your style, and you can learn, can't you, and bring yourself on better that way as well.
Yeah, it's like there's one quote that I always take from Floyd Mayweather. He goes, "Take every style from every fighter, from every legendary fighter that paved the way, put it in the box, jumble it up, and then from there, that is your style." You just don't stick to one style. Look at every single style, study it, and put it in the box, and use that as an arsenal. Shake it up, and that's you as a fighter. Whatever you come out is what you are passionate in that type of style, and just from there, grow, perfect, learn the basics, and perfect the basics, and from there, the rest is history.
Yeah, great. And obviously in the gym that you are now, what's the sparring like in there? You getting quality sparring in as well?
Oh, like Box Smart Elite, the lads in there are just fucking amateur wise top level, especially pro as well. Macaulay, we have Macaulay Owen as well in the gym, and a few of the lads, Jim and Dan, and everyone else in the gym that are just fucking. Sorry for swearing, but top
That's
quality
okay.
lads. You know what I mean? So young, hungry lions trying to prove themselves and just win on the trot. And there's no better way than being surrounded by young, hungry lions, because I'm the same. I'm young and I'm hungry as well. So sparring against these lads that are always on their toes, that are movers, that can box, use the jab, opens up a level of IQ that I've never really touched on, and it's helping me now progress and get better as a boxer as well. Learning how to break them down, learning how to cut off the ring. Sometimes even taking the back foot, letting them walk onto shots. It's not an easy task because they're top quality lads, and it's like a game of chess in there. So you always have to be on your toes when you get into sparring.
It's only going to make you 100% better when you're in the ring. It's going to make it a lot easier on fight night, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like as well, like anyone, if I spar anyone else or anyone outside the gym, I feel like I'm 3 or 4 steps ahead because you're sparring quick lads that are always ready to go. So it's perfect for me. Like I said, once I get into the fight, I can let it go, let my hands go, and really do some serious damage. And that's what I hope to do on the 22nd of July.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Is there
Yeah,
any
thanks.
TV coverage or anything on it coming up on your
No,
fight?
it's not yet. But hopefully soon, as we keep going up the ladder. We'll get on that TV soon. So that's the plan. But it'll be on the BCB YouTube page, as they always do on their shows. So it's gonna be on that. So you can catch it on that. Watch it on that. So
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously, there's some big fights been announced that's coming up. I just want to know your predictions on a couple of them.
yeah.
Uh, First one is Golovkin and Canelo. Number three, what do you think of the outcome of that be?
Uh, for me personally, I love the both of them. I think they're in their own way are amazing fighters, top quality fighters, top of their game. But I feel like Golovkin, from his last performance that he had in Japan, even though he stopped your man, it wasn't, he was getting caught a lot. So I think that's when, age caught up with him. And I feel like as well now Canelo from his last loss that he had with Bivol, shooting and fighting a bigger lad, which, was a hard task to do. I feel like, Canelo is going in there with it more advantage because he's fought someone young, strong, fast in the upper weight. So coming down to his normal weight, I feel like against Golovkin, which is old, doesn't move the same way as anymore.
Yeah.
I think, I hate to say it, but I feel like a stoppage might be in play, 8 round, 7th round stoppage.
Yeah, because obviously Golovkin's got to move up to super middleweight as well, hasn't he? So it's a bit
Yeah,
of,
so
never
it's
done
not
that
his
before.
territory. Do you know what I mean? So based on his last performance, which it was a good stoppage, but up to that stoppage, there was a lot of holes in his defense that I felt like if Canelo was to catch him with them shots, he would seriously hurt him.
Yeah. And another fight I was going to mention was the Anthony Joshua and Usek rematch. What do you think of that one?
This is a do or die for AJ, for me personally. But I just think the Ukraine warrior leaving his motherland, having his whole country backing him up in this fight is a different type of motivation than trying to get the revenge over a loss. Because he was over there, he probably seen people die, he's seen people suffer, houses burned down, so he's probably going there with a vengeance to kind of do the job early, get it done, and head back over and help them where they need to be helped. And I just think this fight, AJ, there's a lot really riding on this fight, and he needs to win it. If he doesn't, I feel like that's going to damage somewhat of his legacy. But it's one of those. I'm looking forward for the fight, but I feel like Usyk has the upper hand in this fight. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the pressure is massive on AJ's side because he needs this. Just signed a new deal with the Zone, I think.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on. So for him, Usyk has no pressure. He has the belts. He's achieved it. Now it's just to come back and get the job done so he can head back to Ukraine and help his people.
And what do you think about the trainer change for Joshua? Do you think it'll benefit him?
I think it was the right move personally because I felt like he kind of went stale in a certain aspect. But saying that again, he has, for me personally, I think he has too many people in his ear, too many different kind of trading measurements. When you have too many options in your head, it makes you indecisive in what you want to do and how you want to attack or how you want to approach a fight. So if he's changing the trainer, which is Robert Garcia, is it?
Yeah.
Which I think is a top quality fighter, not fighter trainer that knows the stuff. He has top quality fighters. Um, if he says, I seen one of his interviews, he said he sees holes in Usyk's defense and in his tactics as well. If he listens to that one voice and really goes out and believes in that one voice, I think he can. But I just think Usyk yet again is levels above. No offense to Robert Garcia, levels above both of them. IQ wise and boxing wise, he could be his own trainer if he wanted to, because he knows that much. You know what I mean? So it's one of those where I look forward to it. I want to see how he gels, how he listens. But I think for me personally, he should have done it a long time ago, and I think it's a bit too late to kind of change trainers. So, but like I said, hopefully it refreshes him. It gives him that fire to go on and fucking, put on a monster performance, or probably try and go for the finish early, or try and do something. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
It's a tough task for anyone, to be honest. Not just Joshua, anyone in the division, because how do you beat a man like that? He's proved he's
Yeah,
got a bit of power behind him now at heavyweight as well. He can hold his own a little bit now, I think.
yeah, exactly. I think after facing Adrian and getting clattered in the first fight with a couple of shots that would have hurt a lot of heavyweights, it showed me that he has a chin. And the good thing about him is he just doesn't stand there. He moves, he ducks, he dives, he steps back. He's bleeding like a light middleweight in the ring. So
Yeah.
that's the scary thought. And on top of that, he knows how to set traps. He knows how to do triggers. He knows how to feint. A lot of stuff that not many heavyweights do. Do you know what I mean? Some of them just go in swinging or throwing, land that big shot. But he touches you downstairs, upstairs, sets you up, makes you fall for that trap, and then comes up with something else. So that's where I just worry his IQ is just more than AJ is able to handle. From the first fight, you can see it. Second fight, he knows he has it. he's comfortable, he's going to come forward and probably stop AJ. You know, that's the way it's looking for me, anyways.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And
It should.
another thing is, obviously we're closing out. We're in the second half of the year coming up now. Is there any fights that you like to be made to close out the year, like another big fight that you want to see?
On TV wise,
Yeah, like as
personally,
a fan.
for me, I'd love to see. For some reason, I'd love to see Dylan White versus Deontay Wilder. For me, in the
Yeah,
heavyweight division, I think that's the next best thing because you know, man. If not, it'd be great to kind of if everything goes to plan on the AJ side of things, you know, Tyson and AJ. Hopefully, they're the two type of fights I want to see happen in the heavyweight. Besides the heavyweight, I'd love to see Teofimo. Actually, yeah, Teofimo versus Devin Haney. That would be another fight that I'd
yeah,
love to
great
see.
fight though.
And in the mix as well, Gervonta Davis. If that happens with Devin Haney as well, that would be great. So, them three fights, Teofimo or Gervonta Davis or Devin Haney, either two of them or three of them, whatever. If they fight each other, that'd be great.
Yeah, that division's on fire at the minute. The lightweights, you just want to see them all mix it up with each other now, don't we?
100%, yeah. And then we have the blockbuster. My favorite one of all that I almost forgot is Terence Crawford and Errol Spence.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm really looking for because them two I love them too. So I'm not going to pick who's going to win between them two. I'm just going to be a fan that day.
yeah. I keep changing my mind every time. Every
Yeah,
time it gets
me and
mentioned.
my friends, like one of my mates, Ozzy, we always have a debate on who's gonna win. And then when we point out something, but then we say, oh, but Errol Spence is physically stronger. Then we're like, oh no, but Bud is strong as well. And it's like, okay, we're just gonna be fans in this fight. We can't split it up. We honestly can't split it up.
Yeah, fingers crossed that happens. To be honest, because it's been brewing for like 3 or 4 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah, they're both getting old. They're starting to, reach that certain age where this fight needs to happen before they get too old. I think it needs to happen. We never know. We could get a trilogy out of this fight, you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
something that'd be great for boxing if we get that.
And just going back to you a little bit, is there anyone you fancy down the line as a potential big fight for you in a few fights' time?
Personally, at the moment, no. I'm just tunnel vision, seeing what happens. Whoever comes in front of me, we'll take it how it is. We're campaigning as super featherweight, so whoever's at the top, we'll be climbing the ranks, and whoever's there, whoever's in my way, whoever has them belts is going to get it. Simple
Yeah,
as, you know what I mean? We were just right now it's calculated moves, smart moves. Whereas before I was, a young buck learning on the trade, wanting to fight everyone and anyone. But at the end of the day, we have to do things smart, build the fan base, build the support, build the momentum in the right way, prepare ourselves in every different aspects. Do you know what I mean? So we're ready game wise, and then once it's time to go and take on the big lads, we be more than ready. Do you know what I mean? So that's the plan that Shiny and Errol have. So I'm just gonna follow their lead, and we go from there and see what happens.
great stuff. And have you got much support coming down from Ireland in your next fight?
Yeah, we have a couple of people coming over from Ireland, so that's a good thing. We have about 20 so far, about 20 people coming over, and hopefully we'll
Yeah,
probably have more. But yeah, it's the same thing, building the fan base out in England as well. So I'm new onto the scene. Young and Irish, ready to rock and roll. So that's the main thing. Do you know what I mean? We're having people come over, but then also building the fan base in England and Birmingham and in Rush Hall, and get that support going, and just join the two together when it's time to go big.
great stuff. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your next fight, and good luck with your training camp as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, champ.
Yeah, great
And
talking to you.
thank you for having me on this today as well. Appreciate it.
No
We finally
worries,
got
no
there in the
problem.
end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Keep in touch, mate, and good luck. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, 100%. God bless, champ.
God bless. Thanks.